Jesus.
Maybe that didn't go over well.
Hey everybody, how you doing?
Hi.
I hope everybody's well. We are back. This is the company. It is Thursday night, 10:08.
Is this the first time all of us have been here in a while? Or
I think so.
Is it?
I don't know.
I wasn't
It
here
may
last
well-
week, so
may
yeah.
very well be.
There it is.
I don't even remember if I was here last week.
Yeah, you were.
You were
Drunker.
canceled.
I think it was
I got
sober last
canceled
week.
again? Fuck.
Yeah, but you know, it's Thursday.
Yeah. So everybody coming in, everybody that's been here in the past, thank you for joining us tonight. We got a few topics we want to talk about. Tonight is November 3rd. Yes, November, the year is officially over. Like,
Nah,
There's nothing
we
else
just
to do.
Skip over my birthday. Thanks, you.
I'm sorry. We'll come
I
back
mean, no,
to
but
Izzo's birthday.
he ain't wrong though, because like if you ever worked in government,
Oh,
Yeah,
yeah.
that's it.
after November, like
Oh,
after the first
yeah,
week of
'cause-
November,
Yeah,
people who've been working there for like 20, 30 years, like they literally can take every Friday off through
Yep.
the entire year. It's
Yep.
like the month of December, they're like, yeah, I'm just not gonna be here.
Fourth
Yeah,
quarter's
well.
over. This is one of those situations where, like, you if you have one of those jobs where you have a bunch of vacation and you didn't use it, and it's one of those use it or lose it situations, you
Oh.
scattering because you know all of December is going to be blacked out.
Oh, that was
Oh,
me in
yeah.
October. Same for me.
Yeah.
That was me in October.
Yeah,
I
so you
barely really worked much October. Never a full
Well,
week.
I never have to worry about that because I've run through all my vacation and personal time right around April.
And pray for your retail brethren.
Oh man, yeah, it's y'all turn.
Oh, it's about to be because
Mhm.
this is the first year after the pandemic's officially over, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like where things
Yes.
are normal. Oh, it's about to be a madhouse.
Yes,
All right.
yes.
I'm the
Our-
support of the front line, so I don't deal with the craziness as much.
Well, now I think some of the organizational practices that they did come up with during the pandemic, some of the stores are going to keep those. So you
say
might
that
number-
one more time.
The
Say that
number
one
of
more time.
people, though.
like they had, you know how they organized people differently during Black Friday in some of the stores during the pandemic.
Mhm.
I think some of those things worked out so well, they're still going to be in place.
Oh, I see what you're saying. Yeah.
Mhm.
I hope so,
So-
but I doubt it.
Yeah, I think your level of crowd control is going to be different now.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And
Mhm.
real quick, most companies have really started Black Friday type sales either beginning of this week or late last week anyway.
Yeah,
Just because people go, they worry about that one day, but no, you just kind of make it spread out and
Yeah.
you don't deal with the rush, but you're still going to be slammed on Black Friday no matter
Yeah.
what.
yeah.
People
I
are
bought-
still trained for that.
I already bought a couple of Switch games for that reason.
Yeah, I always tell people, buy your shit now. Like you don't have to wait
buy
for that.
your odd size TVs.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is a 15 and a half.
Thank you,
inch
Brian.
screen.
There. Brian.
that
Hey,
you
real
won't
quick.
find-
If anybody's watching yet, size 58, don't buy. Size 60s, don't buy. Size 70s, don't buy. Those are
Why?
not
Okay,
common.
explain. You got to explain why.
Yeah.
Because
Yeah, why?
Those are not common sizes. Don't buy nothing. You don't need any of it. That's what this was Quali said. It's just sizes
right.
that they throw cheap parts in, and those panel sizes are
Oh,
normally old-ass panels.
I couldn't remember why.
Yeah,
Okay.
those are not common sizes. Now, some will sell that all year, but you won't see that when you get into the higher tier of TVs.
Mhm.
Now, if you
Gotcha.
got
Yeah.
to go in the bedroom, guys, or a spare bedroom, I get it. But
Like, ooh, I bought a 71-inch TV for $250.
and I'll be
Well,
like,
you fuck.
ooh,
Yeah, and you see
I'm
shadows.
bougie. Yeah, I'm a Sony LG guy, so sorry.
Just- Let's just move on from TVs right now. So-
Oh yeah, I'm so sorry, brother.
yeah.
Yeah.
Giuseppe.
But I don't think there's any like big ticket items that everybody's going to be looking for this year, unless it's the regular Switch or PS.
And that's not gonna be on
or
sale.
whatever.
I was like, maybe
Yeah.
Oculus. Oculus has been selling hella well for the last year or so.
You know what's weird though? Y'all remember when like GPS devices used to be a Black Friday thing?
Yeah.
GPS.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Yeah, they still actually sell pretty regularly. Strangely, but it's of that.
I don't
age
understand
group.
why you don't. just
Okay, I was
use your
like-
phone.
It's of that age group who wants.
Okay,
it. I
yeah,
don't-
yeah.
Oh, okay. The people who want the extra gadget.
It's,
Yeah.
No, it's them and the ones without many summers left.
And truck drivers.
Damn, Rich.
Ass.
Yeah, the truck drivers make sense.
Yeah, it
The truck
totally.
drivers one makes sense. Those
Uh-huh.
make absolute sense.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, some
yeah.
even get iPads depending on what companies. They get iPads for those too.
Oh,
I was actually
Yeah,
looking.
some get
through-
cellular iPads as one.
I was looking through the toy catalog at my with my niece and nephew today, and I don't think there's anything that made sense that anybody would buy. It was just like random ass toys in there, because usually it's circled around something, but now it's just like random dinosaurs and bicycles and shit. I'm like, what? Y'all ain't got nothing to focus on this year? But I did skip the Black Panther toys because I still don't want to know anything about the movie until I go see it.
Which I'm gonna go see it on the 10th.
I think we're still having. I think there's still effects. COVID is still affecting stuff because the movies still this year still haven't been great. Like,
it's definitely better than last year. Last year I thought was horrible.
Oh yeah,
overall.
But everything's still like a Netflix original or a streaming release or whatever. It's
well, they're trying it. They're trying it, but I know a lot of these movie companies or whatever you want to call them. I think somebody burped.
Oh, okay. I didn't see that.
I think they realize that their movies aren't going to do. They might be great movies, but they're not going to do numbers.
Damn, Rob.
Hold on.
See that, Rob? We're going to have
Thank
to
you,
fight,
Rob.
bro. I'm going to see Brian a bootleg copy and ruin it for him. I'm not watching it. I'm not going to watch it.
Hey,
But,
real quick, real super quick, and we don't have to stay on it. Rob was doing God's work last night on this show, yo. He was reading.
I want to hear this.
He was reading the rights of a Tennessee fan because
really?
you're not allowed to criticize them, evidently, as if no team doesn't deserve being criticized. Your defense sucks. You have a trick ass offense. Just be prepared for this weekend. That's all I got to say.
Trick
Wait a
ass.
minute, when is the Tennessee game with us?
Tennessee.
That's a
couple
couple
weeks. No,
That's
it's a
right
couple-
before the Clemson game, like 2 weeks from now.
It's a
But,
couple weeks, yeah.
Yeah, Georgia. They play Georgia this weekend at 3:30 on
God's work.
CBS.
Mm.
CBS.
About to
You
get
gonna
that ass throttled this weekend.
I hope so, but
Yeah.
who knows? He was doing God's work last night because they're getting annoying.
That is awesome.
Says I gave away Game of Thrones for now. You a piece of shit. Oh, you a piece of shit. You said a full final wrap up. And them people was in there crying when they saw
Oh
it too.
my god.
Well,
I mean, but how long has that show been done though? It's been about a year, maybe
Yeah,
two.
but we don't know when he did it. He probably did it when it was still a thing.
Okay, then all right.
Now you can
That's-
still ruin what is it? House of the Dragon.
Yeah.
which I was watching. Great
right.
show. So
Definitely.
yeah.
Yeah. Mm-mm.
But anyway,
Yeah.
House of the Dragon.
It's funny
So
how
first-
it's funny how you can still ruin shit like
Yeah, so.
2 years later.
say yes, Sosa.
What happened?
You ruined
Oh, I'm
it for
sorry,
Nick.
my bad.
What did you
I'm
ruin
Nick.
for Nick? What was the movie you ruined for Nick?
It was House of Dragon. Remember
House
a
of
couple
Dragon.
episodes?
Oh yeah. Okay.
I'm so sorry about that because I haven't even. I don't even know the whole premise of everything, and I just fucked around and ruined.
I just like trolling y'all, acting like I've watched stuff. I have no clue what y'all are talking
Yeah,
about.
you are a piece
But
of
I was referencing when I was saying that I was referencing She-Hulk when they ruined The Sopranos
Brian, maybe I just want to
15 years after the fact.
Oh, yeah, that's right. Yeah.
Yeah. So okay, so we can't go through the show without acknowledging one thing that did happen this weekend. If anybody
No, it was this
familiar
week.
with
Tuesday.
this week. If anybody's familiar with the Migos rap group, hip hop group, they've been in TV shows, movies, very influential group.
Mm-hmm.
One of the members' takeoff was apparently at a bowling alley Tuesday night, and something happened. I'm hearing so many conflicting stories. Bottom line,
Yeah.
dude's not here anymore. Like
Yeah,
he's
correct.
not. He's dead. So that's the
So
important
confirmed.
thing. Yeah, he's been shot and he passed. And you may not like the Migos music, you may not like them as a group or whatever, but you got to give it to those guys. They were very influential in today's hip hop crowd.
Thank you for
You know.
saying that. That's
Yeah.
people act like they weren't, but they influenced.
No, they
Even
were.
if you like it or not, they influenced a lot.
A lot, yeah.
That's kind of a hater's take, or
Oh, I haven't blamed hip hop for this.
Oh no, you can't.
Oh no, of course not.
Yeah,
Um,
yeah, that's not hip hop.
No,
That's-
I think
I
it's
believe-
It's streets.
Go ahead.
it's a hater or an old man's take that they weren't influential or they weren't important to hip hop, because even Snoop acknowledged on one of his podcasts, he's like, I tried to rap like them.
He said, "Ibida."
Yeah,
Yeah, he was making fun of it, but that created a sound. It created an entire sound.
sure
he
did.
was giving them that. He was giving them that respect, like they was doing this shit. Let me try.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
You know what I mean? Like an OG's trying what young guns are doing. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
So
Mm-hmm.
and
I'm not a fan,
you
but
can't blame
I
you
am.
can't
I
blame
can say I
hip hop
am.
because hip hop doesn't put
No.
guns in people's hands. I blame people not being in control of their emotions.
Mhm.
You know, not
either
knowing
side
how
of
to.
that problem.
Yeah. So that's a situation where people don't know how to express and get rid of anger or express anger in the wrong way, and they think that taking this person's life is the only result, or firing off a gun is going to be the only result that can make this situation go away or better.
Post what
Honestly,
Josie said
too-
and read it.
Oh yeah.
Oh,
So-
go ahead, Nick. First, go ahead, Nick.
I was just gonna say, I think some of it too, unfortunately, is just jealousy.
Yeah.
They just want to try to shine on somebody that's doing well and
Mm-hmm.
take advantage of a situation. So I just
Yeah.
I mean,
I got something to say after whenever he finished reading it.
Well, let me
go ahead,
let me read for recording sake. Jones E. Stark says, "My father saw a man murdered over a dice game in the 70s. Can't find one singular article blaming black exploitation films or Curtis Mayfield albums." So
no, but that's going back to. I hate to say it, but like, I mean, hip hop has always been. They use lyrics for evidence. They can't do it no more in California, but you know what I mean. They've been using for murder or whatever. So it's just. DMX got accused of rape like 3 times, and he tried to use his lyrics against him.
Right.
mhm.
So it's
Yeah,
they're gonna blame hip hop for anything.
hip hop is a scapegoat. Izzo, you said you had something to say after I read that, and I'm sorry,
I
didn't mean to cut you off.
No, don't cut him off. He could have kept going.
Mhm.
So I mean,
No, I wasn't in no rush. I was just saying I had something
Oh,
to
okay.
say.
Okay.
I blame like
keep going,
churches, Dolores C. Tucker, and people like that. Like, fuck those people.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Okay. Go ahead, Izzo. What were you going to say?
I was gonna say, I'll go back to what Robin said, so it's not bad. But what I was gonna say, how could I say it? Well, you said jealousy. Should some of these rappers have to not quote unquote tuck their chain and not be as flashy just for people in their feelings? Like, should they not be able to feel like I want to celebrate my wealth? Because I feel that comes into a lot of play. Not say hip hop comes into play when it comes to a lot of this jealousy and envy.
they talk about that with athletes all the time. You know,
Yeah, with athletes as well. That's why I want to
Yeah.
say hip hop, but with athletes, rich
I
people
agree.
in general. Like, why
You shouldn't have to
should
hide
they
your
not be
wealth.
able to enjoy the fruits of their labor?
I
Why
agree.
should they have to worry about that? Now, if you going, hey nigga, I got this money, ha ha ha, that's different. But
Right.
I feel like a lot of people, like, they're afraid to go out. Like, I'm hearing like a lot of people are afraid to do this and do that, but it's kind of like I feel like they shouldn't have to feel that way. I can see worried about getting robbed, that's different, but like just getting shot
Yeah.
over this altercation because the dude's in his feelings about something, no
Mhm,
matter what I
mhm.
said, that's different.
I
I
agree with that. It's just
sorry.
Go
Go
ahead.
ahead. I'm sorry.
no. I'm just saying that I agree. It's like a catch-22. I don't think you can really win because you shouldn't be punished for having wealth or being successful. And I think some of it too. Let's say, for example, jealousy. Said person's out, celebrity, and then you got some probably that's drunk and angry. He's with his girl. The girl is fawning over the guy, and they just all they feel is mad.
I call
Guy
that
do it.
LDE.
That
I
too.
hate that shit.
I hate it too.
Yeah.
And so I mean, I don't know. You shouldn't have to hide your success, like you said, as long as you're not throwing it in someone's
Yeah,
face.
you shouldn't be like that.
But even when
I guess the only thing I would say is on the flip side, I would just say, be mindful and just read the room. If it feels like it's getting hot, leave.
Yeah, I can feel you there.
That's all I
So-
would say.
And I didn't tell y'all I was going to do this, but I don't know if any of you follow Keith Stanfield or subscribe to what he says. And we all know Lakeith Stanfield.
Oh, he said Keith,
from
and
Atlanta.
I thought
Oh,
he
yeah.
used to Stanfield.
Yeah.
I was all fucked up in my
So
head.
I'm gonna
Yeah.
just read a little bit of what he said. So Keith
Yeah.
Stanfield says the dangerous toxicity associated with this glorified black serial killer and killed music. and imagery and got people thinking it's cool to hurt those that look like them and only them. He says it's okay to embrace the realities of life in the harder areas, but let's think about not holding up this behavior in our circles. Let's make it cool to embrace life, travel, and learn new things. Last thing I'll read, he said, at some level, we have to see our lives as valuable so that we think before we react and see another human when we look at a human man. So he is pretty much saying you can't listen to gangster rap and be pro-black. And this is possibly what happened. This was a man who glorified gangster rap in a way, and this is the result.
Okay, Jonesy.
You know what's funny?
But
I
the
fall
real-
somewhere in between Robin and Jonesy. I don't think it's so black and white to me. Because some people are like, well, it shouldn't be. I fall somewhere in between. I think there is some responsibility of it, but then at the same time, what Jonesy said, that is 100% true. And like, think about like our parents, or even older than that, like who grew up watching Westerns and all those type of things. But like, who do we hold? I mean, you got to hold, of course, the people who commit these acts accountable, but what is the source of, let's keep it real, even for people who are not of the black community listening, who is held responsible for a lot of these black youth, like not respecting their peers in that way, to where my way of dealing with this issue is to flash a gun or pull the trigger to this gun. Like, why is that even the option? Like, that has never popped up in my head. Never in my life. Now, if you grow up somewhere where it's different, cool. There's different things. Some cities, hey, you have to have it on you. But when I'm out at a bowling alley and things like that, I don't think I need to be at a bowling alley if I need to have the gun.
I agree with that. Yeah.
That's why I said
is what you said is what.
And then, but then at the same time, I wouldn't talk to Sos because he's from a different city and a different place and era from where I'm from.
That's
so
true,
I would like to hear him too. That's why I said I'm in between them. I see it.
Does what you said sounded kind of like victim shaming or victim blaming? Like, why were you even there if you knew that was a dangerous place?
No, I'm saying, why would you need to bring a gun there? That's what I was saying. Now, in the Migos part where I know they would have security, they should have security anywhere, everywhere.
Yeah, because I thought
I understand that.
Because I thought the guy who wound up shooting him, since it was an accidental shooting, is my understanding of it.
That's why I said we keep hearing all the different stuff. I'm not sure which one is which.
So,
there's so many rumors.
Yeah, there's so many things about the whole thing, but at the end of the day, a man's dead.
A man's lost his life.
And I mean, regardless of, I think the general gist of this is that there was an ego play in here, and somebody was like, I'm gonna show you, and then started spraying.
Because we know that, because we've been outside of clubs or in clubs where you get that feeling, it's like time to go. Because those little egos get hurt, and it's like, why do we know this? Like, we all.
I don't know if it's just me, but whenever you're in those areas and it gets super loud, super quick, it's time to ride.
Even if you don't know where the yelling's coming from, or you hear yelling, you get that feeling and you dip. I've been outside the club when it's later. It's like something ain't right. Let's go.
Yeah.
And why the next day you always hear about a shooting?
Exactly.
That's all I could see is like whenever you have that moment. Is you remember in The Color Purple, what dude was playing on the piano, and then he was like, "Doom, time to go."
Yeah, exactly. We are no more inherently violent and prone to violence than any other community. The anti-black ass narrative needs to be deaded with the quickness. I agree with that.
And that's so. I mean, out of all of y'all, right? All of us, I'm sure I'm probably the person who plays video games the most, right?
You are,
and I'm certain that I probably take more kill shots in those games than all of you.
But I'm more prone to violence.
Well, I suck.
Yeah. So the thing is though, it's like,
I kind of
are we using for a while?
My KD sucks. Rich, chill out.
You can say, I mean, people can say like, talking about glorifying violence or whatever, right? But I see Jonesy's point, because you can't be out here saying that the media is the thing, but there have been countless studies that have basically shown that's not exactly the case. Like to blame the content that is being consumed as the cause for why an event happens, That's here nor there. I mean, because if we're saying that that's true for, for music, then that would be true across any other medium. I mean, remember in the 90s when the politicians and stuff were talking about video games were causing school violence and all that?
Yeah.
It's the same thing. It's just
but then check this out. But then when that video game community went up to those politicians and be like, hey, you costing us money, that shit went away.
You see, right.
And I don't hear anybody talking about violent video games anymore.
Which is wild, because yet we got all these school shootings.
Because Activision makes a lot of money. And you can't have that.
Oh, what you saying is they lobby. Got it.
There you go.
They did, yeah.
Whereas in this case,
spitting, nigga, you spitting.
you don't see Jay-Z talking to X, Y, and Z politician about how to change the narrative around this stuff, right? It's the tactic is different. So the reason why it comes up in our community as a part of the narrative, I mean, sure, we can say maybe on a ancillary level that it's a thing, right? But at the end of the day, it still comes down to values and moral set. That's it. And that's not necessarily taught strictly by the media that you consume.
So what do you think would be a program that could be created to probably nip this in the bud? Like, some people are just a lost cause. I'm sorry to say it, but there is a way to start something, to start a movement, to start a program to get the people who can be saved. Should there be, I would say, something like a parenting class to teach parents how to reach their kids and how to keep in contact, communication with their kids, and help them think on the same level as their kids, so these things don't happen?
That's not.
Or is this one of those things where you just got to wait it out and see what happens?
That's not gonna work.
I was gonna ask the Robin if she's still there to type in, how does she go about monitoring things for her kids? Like, what kind of media they consume? I was just curious for people. Anybody who has kids, to be honest with you.
So I did hear you say that wasn't going to work.
It's not gonna work.
Tell me how.
Because we just had all these people complain about their kids being at home, trying to force them to school during a pandemic.
Okay, so you're saying the willingness, there's no willingness of the parent there to help this. But the program, if the program were to work, if the program were to be implemented and there were parents willing to do it, do you think it would work?
That nigga spitting.
It depends.
Yes,
it depends on, you can't put.
Yeah, let Sosa finish and then read that.
You can't put everybody in a box because things are so different. Like, I was raised on the stuff that you guys were raised on. Schoolie D, Ice-T, NWA, all of that. Fuck, go to Jay-Z, Nas, Biggie, everybody talking about shooting. Schwarzenegger, Stallone, Bruce Willis, Seagal, Van Damme. Go down the line. Like, they're shooting everywhere. Jason, Freddie, Michael, all of this shit. I'm not a serious.
So I'm gonna add to that. How many stormtroopers getting murked in Star Wars?
Stormtroopers, even sci-fi. Even though there's no blood, you still getting murked. I'm not a serial killer. I did not shoot up a school. There was gunplay, but I mean, it wasn't on no grand scale.
So I'm gonna make sure that someone comes and looks at this, they gonna be like, nah, man, I'm keeping it 100 all the way through.
I mean, just Ice-T's not a big name, but just listen to his whole third album. The one that the New Jack City, it was on all over the New Jack City soundtrack. Like he talk about just straight killing, boom, boom, boom. I mean,
with the lisp all the way through it. I be shooting motherfuckers in the.
Ryan, you're a fool, dog.
This is the flavor that they savor of here, neighbor.
So the same way they look at movies,
idiot.
Video games, rap music, we were all introduced to all that shit.
Right.
Yeah, we're sitting here, 5 men of color, and I'm not gonna go into all of that other shit.
Yeah. This ain't business. This personal.
God damn it.
Right, so,
hey guys, I'm a fighter.
I hate you, Brian.
I'm sorry.
I want to say two things.
We tell Brian he's canceled every other day. By the way, guys.
Every day. Go ahead.
I want to say two things, and I might be wrong. Please correct me. Nipsey Hussle was not at a club. He was not at a bowling alley.
Mm-hmm.
He was at his store, right?
Yeah, his own personal business.
And he still got
business he opened. Yeah,
and he still got murdered in a neighborhood that he was trying to
rehabilitate.
Yeah. Tupac was leaving a boxing match.
Well, no, wait a minute. No, go back. No, man, come on. He wasn't doing anything positive. Come on, man.
He was leaving a boxing match.
He just stomped the shit out of some dude in the lobby.
Yeah, they did.
Get out of here, man. Come on.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, Pac was wilding. Unfortunately, man.
Yeah,
Death
but what
Row
did he
put
do?
a battery in Pac's back, man.
I'm not.
Hold on. Let me read Josie. Let me read Josie's
okay,
comment.
Well, I'll say something.
Oh no! I'm sorry. Go ahead. I didn't know you weren't finished.
So Nipsey. So people say, well, it's a hip hop problem. Well, what about this man doing something for the community because of somebody jealous or somebody? Well, I still don't know what the fuck the issue was.
Mm-hmm.
Secondly, and again, correct me if I'm wrong, but it seems like only rappers still go down to the hood. You don't see Billy Ray Cyrus go down to the goddamn trailer park. That's the only big white motherfucker that I could think of in country music. I can't think.
His daughter probably does because she's skanky.
I'm just saying, like, they're like the rappers are the only MC. The rappers are the only ones that still go to shit like that.
Yeah, I got you.
But I'm
there now, and
like any means necessary.
Mm-hmm.
I might dip, but I'm dipping back out. I might stop and I'm out. You know. Y'all want to see me? Come meet me.
Well, see, that's and I want to say that's something new, but that is more recent hip hop because the whole point of hip hop in the past. Well, listen, let me say it. The whole point of the hip hop in the past was like to get out the hood. Mm-hmm. That's how it started. Right. Let's do something amazing. Let's get paid. Let's get out the hood. You know, the last couple decades, it's been like I got to show how true I am. I got to show how real I am. I'm gonna hang out in the hood, even though I'm a millionaire.
Right.
I'm just saying, man. Prince had a bowling alley in his house. I'm sure every one of the Migos got the money where they can be like, my peoples, let's go bowling over here.
Yeah.
I don't, I mean, I'm obviously assuming, but everybody talk about Jeezy. Jeezy don't hang out in the hood. He just buys property.
Right.
I'm saying, like, I mean,
no, you're
Jeezy
right.
Got out. Jeezy got out. He got out the hood. He ain't came back. He done got him a wife that ain't never been to the hood.
Jeezy still be rapping about that snow though.
I'm just saying,
yeah. All right. So Josie says,
I ain't gonna front. I like Jeezy last two albums, so I can't even lie.
All right. So Josie says, rap music didn't invent lax gun laws, general American gun culture, access to guns, the poverty that drives criminality, redlining, food deserts, voter fraud, and all the various structural issues that create a hood in the first place. I never knew if I was spelling deserts right, so I always have to Google
I just want to say something. Robin, I did not identify with them because I don't like Star Wars and Stormtroopers. Because she didn't see what she said.
Hold on, I gotta see what she said. So correct. People talk a big game, but ain't about any actual action when rubber meets the road. 80% claim credit, 20% does the real work. Robin says, y'all identify will rappers and other black people not too damn Star Troopers.
No, it's not who we identify.
Stormtroopers. Y'all identify the rappers and other black people not to no damn Star Troopers. Y'all making me mad.
I think the point was more so about the content that's
the content. Like shoot them up, but we're not doing none of that shit. So
I still think it falls somewhere in the middle. I think some people are affected by it, but at the same time,
I mean,
I think a lot falls on the individual, though. I don't think it falls on that. Because I've navigated myself to play shoot 'em up games and watch all these movies and listen to music, and I've never wanted to sell any coke. I've never wanted to blow somebody's brains out. I've never wanted to run into a jungle and shoot people like Rambo did either.
Think about it, man. Like when we were in college, none of us were like all about when the Clips were talking about being your pusher. None of us were like, I'm gonna drop this college shit and I'm gonna go into the dope game because this is awesome.
Hey, hit Jonesy's last point.
But I feel where she's coming from, especially some of the kids. It feels different. I don't have kids.
Because they're a sponge.
It's hard for me to stay. So I understand where she's coming from.
Right. Yeah, it's not discounting it, not at all. But it is. But it's like. But there is an element where part of it, you have to look at it as being a value set that's being attributed to where that person links this stuff at. Because if we're just going to say like, hey, the content you consume is what makes you, I don't necessarily think that's all 100% there. Part of it has to do with the value set, and then the content kind of gets laid on top of that. So all of these things kind of play together, but I don't necessarily want to say it's strictly just a content issue.
All right, so Jonesy says, my cousin is a rapper. I feel what Sosa's saying. I'm concerned about somebody running up on him because we know how certain cats act. Conversely, should he not be allowed to exist in his community?
He should. That's to Izzo's point. Izzo's like, yeah, we got this money. Why can't we be normal again?
Right.
You might miss hanging out at the bowling alley, the pool hall, the barbershop, whatever.
Mm-hmm.
But we know that there's people out there that's gonna they got a problem.
I guess the thing with that though is once you reach a certain type of status,
and
your normal is not the same. Yeah, the normal for you ain't the same as what it was, for better for worse.
Yeah. But think about what the point Sosa just made. It still comes back to a value set. Nothing that you said is related to content. It's about what that person values, the value of another person, the value of their ideas, the value of their ego.
Oh.
Mm-hmm. And this is what Jonesy's making my point right here. Raise your kids and teach them the morals. You want them to internalize, monitor their media, have conversations with them regularly, stay in the know, do your damn job, be damned if the TV raise your sons. And I think a lot of people these days are just letting the devices raise their kids. They're not telling them that this shit that they're idolizing is stupid and wrong, and tight jeans look stupid on you all day, every day. And all this
Brian,
shit.
really?
I'm sorry. The kids make me mad. Maybe I'm an old fogey, but I'm tired of seeing it.
Brian, just took you off my lawn.
Yo, I saw a dude that was working a drive-through the other day who just was busting the meanest sag while he was serving food. Like you're in a restaurant, working. Let it go. You ain't gotta be a nigga all the time.
God damn.
I'm sorry.
I don't know if you guys
apologize. I'm with you.
I don't know if you guys remember. Mercy just said something to me the other day. He's like, Daddy, you remember when you made me do reports the whole summer?
I still remember that, Sosa. I thought that was the dopest thing. Explain what you did.
Because he was fucking up at school.
Yeah, but explain it. Yeah.
Okay, so he thought he was going to have an easy, and this is to Jonesy's point, and he thought he was going to have an easy summer.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, no, motherfucker. And that's how I talk to the kids. No, motherfucker. You're going to do a book report on, and there was right before that, there was a post on, these are the important historical people in history that your kids should know.
Mm-hmm.
People of color. So it was like, oh, shit. I got the fucking report somewhere. But it was a bunch of historical people in history. I've even seen history, but people of color. And of course, they're not going to talk about Paraguay. So I added Paraguay in there.
Yeah, I remember you told me that.
Every day, Mercy had to do a report on one person, whether it Malcolm X, Martin Luther King, Eartha Kitt was one of them because her story is amazing. Paraguay, Roberto Clemente, people who they might be celebrities, but they had to deal with shit on that side of Cesar Chavez was another one.
Oh, that's awesome.
And I remember us talking about that, but I forgot it until he said it.
Mm-hmm.
And it was just like, I'll let y'all fuck around, but you're still gonna learn something. And I'm still gonna raise productive people.
Yeah.
For one, you gotta have this might sound hoteppy, but it's not. I always say that in chat. And you gotta have knowledge of yourself. Acknowledge yourself. You have to.
Mm-hmm.
It's not.
It sounds hoteppy, but it's true.
No,
you have to have knowledge of yourself.
You have to know where
to find your purpose in this world.
Right. So I mean, we don't want to raise a bunch of fucking Candace Owens.
You hitting the nail.
That's knowledge of self. That's knowledge.
Yeah,
I mean,
because she definitely does not have it.
And I
Tim
think people
Scott
take
on that level, but he ain't that damn bad.
But at the same time,
getting there.
I want you to understand, because we're in bum ass South Carolina and there's not a lot of diversity here. This is what happened. Because
actually, there's a lot of diversity. It's just
it's not taught.
It's not taught.
There
you go.
Yeah, I think
I don't want somebody to say this didn't happen in history when it really did.
I think
this didn't happen in history when it really did.
I think we need to redefine for some people what representation is, because we say your kids represent you or your family represents you when they leave the house, but I don't think people really understand what that means. So when they send their kids out, they're like, we got to put them in the best. We got to have them dressed in the best, and that's going to represent our home. But that's not.
That's how I used to be.
That is not what represents your home. Your dictation, your attitude, your mood, your morals, your how you treat women, how you treat men. That's what represents your home.
I know
your kid can be a piece of shit in the best Jordans.
I'm about to say, I know a lot of well-dressed people who ain't shit. So yeah. He was getting
as Jonesy says, as far as violence in our community goes, it's a tale as old as time. Dudes was getting knifed up and shot outside of juke joints while blues players sang about hunching and we sang about spirituals at church. We have to start with individual families, then radiate the message of self-love and value into our communities. In addition to that, we need to hold our local and national leaders accountable to our communities.
Go vote.
I think it's so lost in politics. Like that is a lost child.
Go fucking vote, man.
Politics is a lost child. That we can't depend on these people for shit because somebody's in somebody else's pocket.
We can't, but okay. No,
it's not a lost cause. Right? It's the only way.
I was gonna say I don't share that sentiment.
We burn it all down. They'll shoot us.
I understand that you don't. And I respect the fact that you don't share that sentiment. But I just think that politics. There are two things that I think are just ruined and shitted on by money. It's politics and boxing. Like those two things should be able to change the world and should give people an avenue to be amazing and great and champions. But there's money.
But at the same time, I think they want you to be disengaged. That's the thing. They want you to be dejected and disengaged. That's what they want.
That is correct. I think,
and I feel when that happens, I feel like that's where they win, and that's where we don't show up, unfortunately. But I understand why you feel that way.
I get it. Like I get it. I just
10,000%.
But don't you feel like there's
go ahead
with what Brian said? Yes, 100%. But there are some people that don't need to hold office ever.
But I mean they're
10,000%.
And that's part of the voting. That's what I'm getting.
That's kind of where I'm going with it, right? Because we're back to talking about a value set. Because because half of it is the fact that we don't understand the process of how the power brokerage actually works.
Yeah, right.
Once we understand that, if this person gets in office, this might change.
I don't understand how we still don't understand this stuff.
Right. And I think that is the underpinning of all of this, is having an understanding of how your community actually works and what you need to be engaged in to make things change.
You know what turns me off about politics? When it's time for people to run and it's time for people to start campaigning, they start talking about who raised the most money. So it's the person with the most money that ends up being your headlining candidate. Not the best person for the job, but the person who has the most money behind them. And that's when shit gets fucked up. Now, Josie, I know you want to be getting on this show, but Robin asked if she could come on because she had an opinion about what we said. I like to bring on a guest every other week, every few times we can bring somebody on.
Trying to mix it
share
up.
A different opinion. We will bring you back, Josie. I see you. We'll bring you back. But tonight we're going to give it to Robin. All right. So Robin, welcome to the show. Thank you for joining us. You got
Robin,
some big ass glasses on. What's
I was
going
about
on?
to say, I think I'm gonna go off camera. Hold on a second.
Yeah,
we
me
go.
too. Yep.
Yeah.
Okay.
Robin,
Robin,
call him
say
an
something
asshole.
so we can know you hear you.
Y'all can hear me?
Oh,
you
yeah,
sound
perfect.
clearer than the rest of
Damn,
us.
you got a good ass mic or an iPhone.
Mm-hmm.
Listen, I'm an Android user. I'm using an iPhone right now. So
Ha!
Lame.
iPhone. Y'all really pissing me off. Like normally
Go
I
ahead.
back and listen and let y'all be at it, but y'all are justifying this BS seriously.
Okay.
Y'all listen to it, right?
We do.
Right? Okay.
I love it.
But
Damn it, Izzo.
No, I didn't want to lie.
We do.
right. So
I mean, 100%.
and I hear the comments, but I'm just thinking about, the message that he puts out there, rest his soul. You cannot do hood stuff when you become a millionaire. You can't go back to the hood. I heard the comment about Nipsey Hussle, whatever his name is. Forgive me for getting it incorrect.
No, you said it right, Nipsey Hussle.
I'm happy he was trying to build up his hood, but you just can't. And if they're still living that lifestyle, they're accountable for it. So we're even more accountable for listening to the music. I like my fair share of hood music, but no, to your question earlier, Izzo, no, I don't let my baby listen to that kind of stuff. I don't let her watch crazy stuff. It's a lot. We don't cuss in front of our children, all of them. So to Jonesy's comment, yes, parents are responsible for their kids, but you adults are responsible for yourself. So just as you're paying for their music, playing it, streaming it, you're allowing that message to go further and further. These are very conscious, intelligent, morally respectful rappers. They're not as rich as all of these other rappers that are
We know why.
violence and so forth.
Mm-hmm.
This I'll say, y'all really pissed me off tonight. But anyway, and y'all are college educated, man.
I'm a dropout.
I think Robin, I think what we're trying to say is, of course, there's music out there that's negative, that glorifies violence and things that shouldn't be glorified, just as well as movies and other forms of entertainment. It boils down to that person's that person's own psyche, their own spirit, their own mentality. If you're going to pull the trigger, you're pulling the trigger not because of the music you heard, you're pulling the trigger because of you.
Mm-hmm.
But it's that
you can't blame hip hop for violence.
No, but
I'm sorry. Wait,
that's not. I don't think she's saying
that at all.
Actually,
say it. What were you about to say, Robin?
But I think, and to Robin's point again, she said you can't be a millionaire and go back. I'm not a fan, but Chief Keef left Chicago, went to LA, and never came back. And there's a reason for that. Because he had a target on his back.
Mm-hmm.
So
he's been in LA ever since.
And he's still alive. So
she does. That's a valid point. Damn. So
well, I guess that comes back to the new normal. Once you reach a certain point, your normal now ain't what it was back then.
Right. Well, yes, but like I said earlier, and I'm sorry, Rob, I don't mean to cut you off.
You're fine.
You made it big, but now you still miss the normal, the old normal.
You can't have that.
Yeah.
Right.
Things are different now.
That's what I said.
They still think like, I don't know. I'm not going to answer for them, but I just know I can't go to normal what I was when I was still what I was doing.
I mean, that
I would say hang out with us doing that shit.
Well, that goes back to the statement, the old adage, right? When you know better, you do better. You have money now. You know how it works. You know how the game is played. So then there's certain things you can't do anymore.
Yeah. Robin?
I agree with that.
What about what I said? Because you look like you felt a certain way about what I said.
Oh yeah.
Oh, we all felt that.
Yeah.
Nothing?
No, go ahead. Let me get my thoughts.
This about to be ether.
Like I said, I'm in between Jonesy and her. I fully understand it, but then it's like, where's the accountability come from for the human?
I just feel like a lot of these situations that happen are just because they have not learned how to manage emotion. It is. It has.
Like I don't know.
Situations.
I don't know where.
But where does that come from? They can't do
the home. It comes from home. Like you've seen kids out in. You've been in middle school, elementary school, high school. You've seen things on the street where people just blow shit out of proportion because nobody taught them how to manage that.
Oh yeah, we always have my little skerfuffles, but we always end up being friends sooner or later. Normally,
spell skerfuffle.
Don't make me lie.
Don't you feel like that's a cop out? Like,
no.
Yes, because there's plenty of people who've been.
A cop out is saying I listen to Snoop. I listened to Snoop the other day, so I walked around all day slapping women on the ass and calling them bitches.
Well, I thought that's what you just
That's
said.
too easy. We're talking about like
that's
a combination of a lot of listening to hip hop or soaking in this stuff. I think that's what she's saying.
I work somewhere.
By school shootings in that same way?
Say that one more time.
To Brian's statement just now, do you oversimplify school shootings?
I don't oversimplify. I feel like those parents should these are parents who were not influencing their kids in the right way. Or haven't been in their kids' life in the right way.
Oh no!
And they might think they're in their kids the right way, but they're doing it completely fucking wrong. I blame the parents. Who can you blame for the school shootings?
Well, you gotta blame the parents. Where did these 16-year-old kids get the guns from? But
you know what? And they play it off like, oh well, nobody that has CDL or learn how to use their guns, bought their guns legally has done anything wrong. No, it's your fucking kids.
That's not a CDL.
That's CWP.
Oh, not CDL. I'm sorry.
We were
gonna let you have that.
I thought he was trying to use
I get my words wrong sometimes.
No. He was on a roll. I was like, let him have it. Let him have it.
I was gonna let him cook, but
concealed weapons, CWP.
But
But it's their kids because you're telling your kids that you got to shoot for what you believe in.
But Brian, you're talking about
parents killing their kids.
You're talking about kids. We're talking about adults now.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and I wouldn't say it's, but I know the equivalency was brought back to a person taking out their aggression in a situation that they wanted to put control in is what we're kind of basing the discussion around. And if we look at it from that standpoint, I think it still comes back down. And I'm not saying that there isn't anything inside of media that may trigger something for a person, but I think at the end of the day, there is a value problem that needs to be addressed, because your value for human life, value for being able to understand how to de-escalate circumstances when your ego is out of check. Mm-hmm. That's where the conversation kind of gears towards. Don't necessarily think that we can say that it is, it may be a factor or a contributory thing, but I think at the end of the day, it's a value set. Because if I look at you like you're nothing, or I want to exert control, that's what we're talking about. Because in the situations that have been brought up, it's all about a person losing their cool and exerting control or power using a tool, a weapon in particular, to be able to, apply force in a way that makes them the big man in the room.
Mm-hmm.
The sad thing about, regardless of, I still feel like an adult's going to be accountable.
Right.
And I don't think we're holding people accountable, because you could say,
Agreed.
Well, I was raised like this. I know plenty of people that were raised with no fathers and they're great fathers. I know plenty of people that were raised with fathers and ain't shit.
Yeah.
It's just what it is. But the sad thing about it is this 28-year-old man will never have a chance to grow again. Because me at 28 was a fucking knucklehead.
Yeah.
And I had the chance to grow. So.
All right. So
Jonesy, I don't feel like anybody's blaming media.
No, I don't think
not here.
Yeah.
In our group, but a lot of external people are.
Jonesy says, stop blaming media and challenge the real system of power. At the end of the day, labels will produce what people actually want. You're right about gangster rap doing better numbers. My issue is people love the grandstand and pretend in our day we never vibed to whatever negative artist and somehow became good people. Common has never sold like 50 Cent. People had a choice and consistently choose what we call negative in all entertainment. I'm just over a disingenuous, intellectually lazy.
Oh, no, that's
conversation.
And I think he's almost what she said. She said the same thing. These conscious artists just don't sell like that. We all know.
Is that what you're saying? Is that what you're saying, Robin?
That's a part of it.
That's a part of it, not whole entirely. Right. She did say that.
I'm over the hypocrisy of our age, but I'm sorry, Robin.
No, go ahead. Go ahead.
No, I'm done.
That's funny. I'm done.
He said he's done, but go ahead.
No, I'm done, Sosa. Go ahead.
You sure?
I am. I'm done.
Robin's being
wrong. What's fatiguing you? I'm just curious.
Right? Yeah.
She's exasperated.
I am to be honest with you, all this week I've heard like some of the same excuses, explanations, and accountability because of parents and blah blah blah, this, that, and the third. I'm so over it, to be honest with you. I think are collectively a part of the problem. In the same way y'all cancel, not y'all, but the same way people are canceling Kanye because of his extremely radical and free speech. We don't consider what these rappers are talking about in their lyrics radical. They're literally talking about destroying communities, women, shooting at your mom's house, shooting at your baby's house, putting people in the casket. He literally has a lyric that says aiming at your noggin. And yeah, I twerk to that or whatever, but still, I didn't buy it.
I didn't catch you saying that. I did not picture you saying that.
I don't twerk. I don't twerk.
Sure you do.
We get so uptight with someone like Kanye or all these other figures. And what's the guy that just got sued for like $1 billion about the Sandy Hook situation?
Alex Jones.
Kept saying stuff like this, but because we identify on some level to like, you know, these rappers and their struggle, they grew up in our era, they're our friends. We all know kids that we went to school with who were there at the top of the year, not at the end. They dropped out, cut class, got expelled, selling drugs. And we support all of that. To be honest with you, we support it. So honestly, I feel like y'all are justifying a lot and making excuses. Yeah, that's just where I sit on that. But
no, I get you. I understand it and I feel it.
I had time and my children sleep. So yeah.
I got you.
Okay.
No, and I respect the hell out of that. I mean, the whole point of this whole show is for people to express different, you know, views and viewpoints or everything I say. And I can see where you're coming from. You know, it's like when you see everybody going towards one situation, it's like maybe, you know, this is just like the popular thing to say. Maybe we're not addressing what the real issue is, which is why I brought you on. I was like, maybe you're what you want to say is going to bring light to what I'm saying or make me think a different way.
Sorry, I'm reading the comment.
I saw Izzo with the wine opener, but I tried to let him live.
I didn't see it.
Izzo didn't get off till late and didn't get to the liquor store, so I got some wine.
Izzo over there drinking rosé and shit.
Nah, it's Cabernet Sauvignon. Thank you.
Oh, excuse me.
Sorry, Robin, since they want to pick on me.
Excuse me.
Bougie.
Yeah. So you're of the ilk or of the people who believe that we need to be more responsible with our music and our message.
Yeah.
I understand. No, I'm not disagreeing with you.
I know.
I'm just asking.
with that.
I think there are some really irresponsible shit that goes on in hip hop.
And y'all know I hate. Yeah, I'm about to say because I hate trap music all the way through.
There's a lot of
I listen to.
You know.
Yeah.
Rich, you listen to Jay-Z.
Right.
That's
so I mean,
but he done shot some people in his lyrics.
There you go. So
I don't understand what you're saying.
Well, all I'm saying is that at the end of all of this, what it looks like is that we're talking about two different paths to being able to address a problem. One is accountability of lyrics and the media that we produce and support throughout the years, right? And the other is a value set, one of which can be directly handled by a people, a community, in a micro level. The other is a macro level problem. Mm-hmm. It's kind of like the individual problem versus systemic issue which is why it seems like in the discussion, in some ways, like when this kind of stuff comes up, it's like people start talking around each other because you're not really talking about the same solution to the problem. Because one of which is again like a micro community level where you talk about family, neighborhood, whatever the case may be. It's about a value set around that, and the other is the collective culture that surrounds it.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
I just think real quick. Just this is gonna sound weird, but I still remember back in late 80s when I saw like NWA for the first time on TV, rapping what they rapped about. And I was not to say I was like a super smart, but I was pretty aware and understood what they were saying. But I didn't take it seriously because I didn't realize that stuff could actually happen. You know what I'm saying? The stuff they were rapping about what went on in Compton with the cops and this and that. But there had to be a sector of people who either were aware it was going on or some of the stuff they said they were doing, they wanted to do. So she's 10,000% right saying like it does affect children. We can't sit here and pretend like it doesn't. Well, at the end of the day, do they need to disappear off the face of the earth because it affects them? Not necessarily, but maybe we shouldn't glorify it as much. But like, it's weird. That's why I said I fall in between. I fall right in between them.
What does that content serve, though? Like, to be honest, and
valid point.
The funny thing,
what talking about anything negative, not just rap music, whatever vehicle you have to influence people. How is it serving? Like it doesn't serve us in any way but from our, I don't even know how to say it. I want Rich to interpret for me, but I don't even know how to
Rich, you are our Yoda.
If you enjoyed certain,
speak on this, I will.
But I don't even know his name. I don't know if it's Jones or whatever, but I think I didn't explain it well. I'm talking about the influence. The account, when you put it out there, whatever you say, you got one shot at it. So influence is, right? You have to be accountable for that. You could rap about anything else. You could sing about anything else or whatever your profession is. Once you put it out there, it's out there. Our children, they're not, majority are not looking at Elon Musk and what he's done for technology, or Steve Jobs. The bulk are not looking at these people. Maybe you six are you?
Yeah, I would have, but I figure
it's 5. Robin is 5. You good? Go ahead. Go ahead.
Robin drinking what I'm drinking. Gotcha.
12 of y'all motherfuckers. I'm speaking to influence. Like we put it out there and then we get mad at the results and what happens. Like even and I get like how you raise your kids is everything, right?
Yep.
But once they're out there, you can give them some tools, but once they get out there, they have all these other things that they're warring against. You know what I'm saying? Like me and my brothers, we grew up in the same household, right? My mom essentially instilled the same stuff in all of us, double standard because I was the only girl, but essentially core of it, she instilled the same thing. Look, I went and I educated myself. I got a corporate job. I wasn't out here in the streets, gang banging and carrying on. I did club in my younger days. My oldest brother started a trucking company. My middle brother, he did about 17 years. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
The same. And unfortunately, he was more attracted to the music that he was hearing, right? And all these other bad influences. That's all I'm saying. I think the influence is the biggest thing, and the accountability. So if you put it out there, you just gotta deal with the life that comes along with that, unfortunately.
Live by the sword, die by the sword.
Yeah.
Right. Okay. Because I'm thinking about it in that space too, right?
Mm-hmm.
But at what point does artistic expression become like the cultural message, the zeitgeist associated with all of it? Because to them, they're just putting out work, right? That is their artistic expression, and I you know,
but
right.
Wisdom, you can express yourself, and yes, you have to be true to yourself. Like if that's where you are in your life, that's where you've been, and you're
sure.
So, but you cannot. Let me try to think in it where you're at, Rich. No.
Yeah.
No. You can express yourself, but you have to be wise. If you have that kind of platform, you have to be wise. Like, why do you have to express that darkness? Why do you have to express shooting people and drugs and, and glorifying heroin use and all whatever they're taking these days? I do not know. But
right. Why? So we're talking about, so it is a level of responsibility, like you mentioned, and I agree completely, because if you have the ears of that many people, there is a different level of responsibility that you have, because you are able to shape those people's minds. But to point back to the value set of that person, what was it? Charles Barkley said, "I ain't here to be your role model."
Yep.
And maybe they're in that space. So I'm not saying, I am not disagreeing with you by any means, right? Because I think there is something to be said where you have that much control of people's minds to be able to cast out a message, but that comes back to that person. And if they decide that they want to carry that responsibility, I don't think it's right either. But that is in fact the part of it, is that it's their choice and how they want to be received.
Let's be really honest about how the music industry goes. If you get out here and you start rapping about anything else,
right,
besides what's bringing in numbers, your music is not going to be on the radio.
I'm not a big fan, but Dead Prez did not do good numbers.
But what's their legacy? We're still when you said Dead Prez, everybody in here knew the fuck they are.
We still talk about them.
Correct.
If you can put whatever version of Dead Prez is in this
first album is Let's Get Free, right?
Yeah. If you put Dead Prez or whatever version of that in this day and age, will they make the same impact? I doubt it.
I actually think right now they might make a harder impact initially than they did back then.
Yeah, they have a niche now.
So where does that come from? We can go back to X-Clan and Public Enemy. Like they had their niche. So I get what Robin's saying.
Right. I don't disagree at all.
But I mean, I was 10 years old listening to NWA. Oh my God, the iPhone broke.
It's an update and it just shut down on us.
That's not how it works, guys.
You fainted?
Y'all hate us. Y'all hate us.
Stop. Man. Hold on.
And
goodbye.
This Vezo.
Are we haters? Are we? Put that shit down.
And Jonesy, I think Jonesy asked, like, is it the lifestyle or the music associated with it? To me, it was neither. Because at 11 years old, I was walking outside going to go play baseball, and I saw, I don't know if this is snitching, so I'm not going to say their names. I saw 4 or 5 different dudes, and I was like, yo, I want to be like them. Because
you have to ask so.
I look at my parents, we're living in a 2-bedroom apartment, and I'm like, and we're driving a goddamn Chevrolet Chevette. And I'm like, huh. But they're driving a goddamn GNX and Eldorado and whatever else. And I'm like,
El Camino.
No, we didn't. 88 El Camino sucked.
Yeah, if you don't know, a GNX is a bad. A GNX is still a bad car.
Used to be my dream car.
My point is, nobody was talking about that at that point. But when I walked outside, I was like, "That's what I'm going to do." Somehow, some way, my parents instilled in me a strong enough foundation where I did all of this shit, but I still came up good on the other end.
Right.
And I tried to do the same thing with my kids.
Yeah.
So you have to be accountable as adults, but I mean, you can't fuck up the foundation for your kids either. So
this was one of those things that's like the conversation that we're having is just it's not going to end.
The other thing is every person is different.
Right.
So
that's the big thing too.
Everybody in a box and be like, this worked for him, so we're gonna do and her and like everybody. My brother, love him to death, but he's the fuck up. And if I die and he hears this shit, he'll say, you're the fuck up. It's just what it is. He still ended up being good, but he didn't go. I mean, you can't even say traditional route, but whatever. You know what I mean? It's just
right.
So you can't put anybody in a box. If they listened to certain music growing up, or if they were abused, or if they were this, or they went this way or that way, it's all on the person. So
right, there is a point where they're adult.
You can do as much teaching and raising a certain way.
You still, to Robin's point, you still got to give them a chance.
Robin was saying something. No, I said I heard you about to say
at the
something.
end of the day.
Yeah.
I said, would you mind your teenage and preteen daughters listening to Meg Thee Stallion, City Girls?
Oh,
City Girls is trash. My kid's gonna like hip hop.
Whatever
you think that you can't force them to. They're gonna like what they don't like.
So to Robin's point, so my daughter's 22 now, so I went to Iraq in 2010, 2011. So let's just say between 07 and 2018, my kids were back and forth between my house, one set of rules, and their mother's house, another set of rules. They used to watch at 8, 9, 10, 11 years old, Robot Chicken, Jersey Shore, goddamn Teenage Mother, all this bullshit on MTV, all of these bullshit shows.
At your house or her house?
At her house.
I had to check.
At her house. So whatever whole shit or whatever Megan Thee Stallion version of it was back then, that's what she was listening to. That's what they
Trina. Trina was our Meg Thee Stallion.
I don't think
she's nothing compared to me.
Or Meg Thee Stallion is these people's Trina.
Yeah.
So my point is,
or Lil Kim, which one?
I still had
would be somebody else.
Even though their mother was doing that there, I still had to. I still had to have a level of.
Got my whole paycheck.
Had to set an example.
Damn it, Brian. Fucking ass.
Because ain't got no kids. Got my whole paycheck.
Asshole.
Got my whole paycheck. Scooby Bob Bob Doo Bop. Yeah.
What is this? Season 6 of the Cosby Show?
That was the Goof Troop theme song.
Oh, okay.
They same thing though.
Goof Troop, Scooby Bob Bob Doo Bop.
That was Cosby too, though.
Unpopular opinion. I don't remember Goof Troop very much. I remember the show, but don't remember the episodes.
Wow.
But you remember the Goofy movie?
I never watched it back then. Y'all be shocked.
You really should watch Atlanta. The last
episode was.
I heard about that. I heard about it.
Talk about it.
Robin, you watch Atlanta?
Y'all, I haven't watched Atlanta since the episode where they had the Invisible Man.
Oh, so you're the version of Brian and Insecure. God,
damn it! I'm gonna watch the show.
No, you won't.
I have so many shows that I'm watching. I skip around. I just skip around. So I'll get.
I love Atlanta. Like when I tell you I love F sad as shit. I think the second to last episode aired tonight. I'm hurt by that.
Intelligent.
So I tell you what. So just to make y'all feel better, we'll make Brian feel better. I am on season 1, episode 3. Brian, if I surpass you,
of what? Insecure?
Atlanta.
Oh, Atlanta.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
I'm done Atlanta, but you're saying if you pass me on where I am with Insecure, then I should feel bad. Okay.
Yes, you should.
I'm gonna finish
No,
it.
you won't. Breakfast Club 2019.
If they come out with another
Plus
sci-fi
50.
movie, you might surpass me because I'm
real
on
quick
sci-fi
for Atlanta.
shit.
The episode before this last one, I know a lot of people probably like, what's really winning the episode, and I'm like, that episode actually meant a lot if you watch it.
Was that the one with the Tyler Perry wannabe?
No. The one where they went camping.
Oh yeah.
That's a lot in that episode, but people be wanting stuff to happen. I'm like, pick up the nuance with the girl in the back of the vehicle at the end of the episode, like, and what happened. Like, it's a lot happening in that episode.
People need to be okay with dramas.
No, they want shit to keep popping off. That's what they
Yeah, I know. It's
right.
I know. The only reason why I'm saying that is because Andor is great and it continues to be great. And people who are like, well, it's boring. It's like, nah, you don't have lightsabers and pew pew sounds every episode.
That's what kills me with a lot of people in entertainment. Like, it
All right,
doesn't
Joseph,
have
be
to
good,
be that. I like good drama to build something better later.
Hey y'all. Hey, real quick. Y'all, black man cursed too much, and my baby's awake, so I'm gonna say peace.
Bye, baby.
Oh, he didn't know they were in the room.
You didn't see her in her arms?
Bye,
I
young
can't
one.
see. It's dark on my screen.
What the bleep?
They were asleep, but my baby, she wakes up a lot. So.
Oh, okay.
And so she says she don't want us to be an influence to the language and promoting the
Negative impacts of the black man on the diaspora
Shut
of the black
up,
people.
Brian.
Robin, we do.
Brian.
Robin, we do really appreciate you coming on
I saw
and
you 5
sharing
minutes
your
ago. You
opinions
can't even
and
blame me.
your ideas on what we were talking about. Even
this
if we
is good.
pissed you off and you are legitimately pissed off, at least we evoked an emotion with the show and the things that we said. So that's what
I
our
don't know, I
goal
like
is.
that.
That's not what you're doing. Don't
It was
test.
an emotion.
You'll get shot in these streets testing people.
Thank you. You saw that.
Damn,
No, I
okay.
appreciate you watching, Robin. I appreciate the support. Period.
Oh yeah, Thursday nights is if they're in the bed, I can watch. It's not a problem. And Sosa, I was telling Brian I owe you an apology.
What I did? What you did?
Oh,
Because last week, I called you a B.
A bitch.
I
I'm
don't
sorry, baby. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Your mama curses, not me. I use bleep.
Not just now you didn't.
But you did? I don't remember that. What happened?
No, I don't remember that.
He was just being mean. Himself.
I was being mean.
It was near the end, yeah. But
I was a teddy bear.
Hey, you were sad all week because of that, and you questioned. But I apologize. I don't.
No, we're good. We good. We always good.
Okay.
I've been called worse. I promise.
Well,
You was being mean, so she called you.
Yeah, how is that? I don't know. That doesn't go together, but okay.
he said like it was like bottom of the barrel. Like it was worse than other comments. He took.
Now I gotta listen to the last week's show, and I know.
Oh, yeah.
know what happened, so I gotta listen.
Anyway, but all
Oh, we're
forgiven?
leaving now?
All we
okay.
good? No. We let Robin go. All good?
Oh, okay.
All forgiven?
Oh,
So she
yeah,
good?
no, we're good.
Okay.
Yeah.
oh, we're good.
Okay.
right.
Y'all have a lovely week or whatever. Yeah, weekend. Bye.
All right.
do
I
as
appreciate it.
Thank
All
you.
right.
Peace out. Oh, you
That is
can't.
great.
Oh.
I'll kick you out.
I'm about
There
to
you
say
go.
that. Yeah, the iPhone, man, something about those iPhones, man.
You know what?
Yeah.
I do remember. I did watch last week's episode in Jacksonville. Yeah, and then so you were kind of.
What did I say?
I gotta go back. I made a
Damn,
comment about it.
I
too the
was
next morning.
sober. I was.
And you were sober last week, Sosa. That's the weird shit.
I wasn't that sober, but I
Oh,
mean,
I made some
I don't
comments
think
too the next morning in the chat.
I don't
too about it.
remember. I don't.
Anyway,
Anyway,
anybody got any shotgun topics? Anything they want to get off the chest? Anything they want to say real quick before we end the show?
Just the one that I was talking about.
But we might have to save that one because that can
Kyrie's an idiot. Next, I don't have to expound.
Is this a pretty good NBA season this year? I mean, is it something worth?
It's only 10 games in.
Yeah, it doesn't matter. Man, how about Golden State lost to the Magic? The Magic were like 1-7 at the time.
Oh, jeez.
Championship hangover
in 1996.
Hold on, Rich. Sometimes, especially early in the season, numbers lie. So
Luka would be MVP right now.
1-7 might mean they lost by 1 point, 2 points.
They lost by 1 point tonight.
And Westbrook would still be Westbrook, so it don't matter.
Oh, absolutely, Rob. This weekend we are all
good the
Georgia
last
fans.
2 games, man.
Everybody agreeing with this?
I'm sorry,
we all
West
Georgia
bench.
fans this weekend?
Sure.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah. I mean, sports.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Sports ball.
Can they both lose?
Shut up, Rich.
I'm about to say, yeah, exactly. No, real quick, we were at work talking about this, and it's like I got a coworker that's a Tennessee fan, but I'm like, Clemson would hate this if Georgia beats Tennessee. Georgia would still be undefeated. Tennessee would have their 1 loss, and then let's say Georgia goes to the SEC championship, right? And let's say Alabama wins their game this weekend, wins their games. Alabama will beat them, and Alabama have 1 loss. Georgia have 1 loss. Tennessee have 1 loss. If Ohio State do what they got to do, guess who's the odd man out?
Clemson.
Yep.
Bye, Dabo.
Because unfortunately, those 3 SEC team schedules are stronger. But I don't think it'll play out that way. I think it'll play out different. But
Rob
Clemson still has to worry about UNC.
Rob, shut that shit down.
Yeah, Clemson has to worry about UNC. I think they should not overlook that game if they play them in the ACC championship. Oh yeah, and TCU, absolutely. I forgot about that, fam. We talked about that at work too. TCU is getting punished because of their name more so than their wins. That's a valid ass point, bro.
mean, Christian,
Sucks to suck.
No, it's just me poking fun at the Bear because I forgot Marcus ain't in here.
Oh,
he would have been talking shit.
That's really what it was for.
So did Masseuse Violator win tonight, or what's going on?
Who? What? He doesn't play for them. Sosa.
He's playing. I'm sorry. Who's he playing for?
The Browns, man.
Browns. I'm sorry.
You insane right now.
I'm like, what do you expect?
I had a flashback. I'm sorry. You're right.
He said you got a tramp stamp for the SEC.
No, Rob, you know my heart would rather have Georgia and damn Tennessee not make it because I don't like neither of them motherfuckers. So that's really where it lies. Y'all don't bother me as much as Georgia, and Tennessee's annoying the fuck out of me, right?
Our neighbors to the west and the east. You don't like neither one of them. None of them niggas.
Yeah, I've said in the chat, I do hate Georgia more than Clemson. It's weird how that happened. It's strange, but I do hate Georgia more than Clemson.
All right. Anybody else with anything you want to say? We all good? All hearts and minds are clear?
No, they're not, but fuck it.
What? Rob's drinking. What is going on?
Watch the game,
man. I don't know. Rob's high.
I gave
right
Rob props for him eviscerating the people who were talking stupid last night. This how you
Rob's high, man. Watch your Orange team.
I'm gonna go back to Jackpot's YouTube page and check it out.
Oh, it's great. It's pretty damn funny.
Anyway, y'all be good. We appreciate y'all coming in and joining us on this Thursday night, allowing us to keep you company and keeping us company as well. We'll be back next Thursday. I'm pretty sure some bullshit is going to happen between now and next week.
And
so
tomorrow,
it's going to give us something to talk about. And we still got Izzo's topic of mixtapes. Where have they gone? Where are they and where will they go in the future? So we can talk about that next week as well. Y'all, thank you so much. We love y'all. We'll see y'all next week. Peace.
Clips can eat a
dick.